I've seen a lot of discussion on social media about local politics and national politics. Locally, where I'm from, here in the state of Mississippi, there's been a lot of talk about Medicaid expansion and how our governor, Tate Reeves, is still opposed to it, despite members of his own party moving to try to get it done. Also, here in my state, they are moving to change the formula that they use to determine how much they're going to spend on public schools. Well, y'all know where I stand on that. I say pay teachers 100 grand and get the money out of the defense budget. That's what I say. And also allow private enterprise to get in the game. Just like they sponsor sports team, goddamn it, they can be sponsoring teachers. But I did a whole speech about that. Y'all go check that speech out. Okay. Nationally, we just had the State of the Union. Okay. Of course, Democrats are saying Joe Biden did a great job. Republicans trolling them, led by their fearless leader, Donald John Trump. And I see a lot of people complaining about the choices that we have in terms of the candidates, saying the American people deserve better. And my question is, do we? Do we deserve better? Because it seems as if we're the ones that got ourselves in this goddamn situation. So I say blame us. Blame us locally. Blame us nationally. Blame us. Blame we the people for these sorry-ass politicians that we have. Hold on now. First, I come to you for entertainment. I come to you for education. I come to you for inspiration. Oh, that's pretty negative. First, hold on. I'm gonna tell you what I mean. Before I do, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I am your homeboy First, and this is the realest, most entertaining show in the game. Put it on something. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button. Put all your people on this real shit. This is why I say blame us, y'all. Okay. We just had an election here in the state of Mississippi last year. We had an opportunity as a state to vote Tate Reeves out. The majority of voters didn't. He was running against a candidate in Brandon Presley, a Democrat, who was down with Medicaid expansion. And yet, a majority of Mississippians chose not to elect that candidate. That's the people who did that. Tate Reeves ain't forcing his way into that governor's mansion. The people of the state of Mississippi did that shit. That's where the blame lies. Now, if you are not the one who voted for Tate Reeves, that ain't on you. That ain't on you. Okay? If you actually went out and voted, that ain't on you. Let me say that. If you voted for Brandon Presley, the bullshit that Tate Reeves is pushing right now by still being opposed to Medicaid expansion that's not on you. If you sat your ass at home and ain't gonna vote at all, that's on you. If you voted for Tate Reeves, that's on you. He did not force his way in the mansion. He did not take that shit by force. Mississippi voters gave him that shit. That's on you. I've started watching the State of the Union address. I missed it the other day. I was working, covering Jack State basketball. But I like to go back and I usually don't watch it live anymore anyway. Usually go back and watch it on YouTube at my leisure. But I haven't made it to the speech yet. You know, I like to watch the whole pumping circumstance of the whole situation. I like to see all that. I like to hear them say, Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States. And I like to see the president come through. I like all that shit. And I like when they do the wide shot. And you get to see all these folks up in there. Power players, representatives, U.S. representatives, congressmen, congresswomen, U.S. senators. You get to see the Vice President of the United States. You get to see the Speaker of the House. Senate Majority Leader up in there. Senate Minority Leader up in there. The Supreme Court Justices up in that bitch. The President's Cabinet. All these movers and shakers in our government, in our national government, our federal government, in that damn building. And ain't none of them take that position by force. The people gave Joe Biden the power. Oh, well first, the choice was Joe Biden or Trump. Man, what do you want me to do? Joe Biden had to beat a whole bunch of other Democrats before he could run against Trump. And Democratic voters in them primaries picked Joe Biden. So now, if folks are complaining about it, if you didn't go vote in those primaries, you hold some of that blame. If you can't stand Joe Biden, you think Joe Biden too old. He's too old now. He was too old then when he was running versus Kamala Harris and all them other Democrats that he was running against. Okay. There was a young Democrat that ran, and everybody's about the age and shit. That was a young Democrat from Texas who ran. Beto O'Rourke. Beto O'Rourke. Young man. Okay. You see how old Beto is today. He's 51 today. So he was in his 40s when he ran for president. A few years back. Voters ain't choosing. There were other choices. Kamala Harris younger than Biden. Voters didn't choose him. Primary voters didn't choose him. You feel me? So Biden ain't just take the damn Democratic nomination. He ain't pull up with his goons and force motherfuckers to vote for him. The people did that shit. Trump. He tried to stay in power. He tried to pull some gangster shit to keep the White House after losing to Joe Biden, but he ain't pulling no gangster shit to get it. No, he didn't. He did not pull no gangster shit to get it. He won that primary in 2016 fair and square. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Look at all these folks Trump whooped back in 2016. All these Republicans. Look at them. And folks up here talking about we deserve better than Biden and Trump. We gave ourselves these two motherfuckers. Republicans could have chosen any one of them cats. They could have. They didn't want them. They didn't want them. They wanted Donald John Trump. Look at that field. Give you a little bit of everything. You wanted a woman? There you go. She was a business person. Carla Fiorina. You wanted somebody who was a brash talker, okay? Who wasn't traditional, who would say what was on his mind. There you go. Former governor of New Jersey, Chris Christie. You wanted a person of color? There you go. Bobby Jindal. You wanted somebody from political dynasty? There you go. Jeb Bush. Okay. You wanted some another governor, Rick Perry of Texas. What are we talking about? If you got your black man over here, Ben Carson. You wanted somebody outside of Washington, right? He was a fucking brain surgeon. But they ain't want none of that. The GOP voters wanted this motherfucker right here in 2016. They wanted him in 2020, goddammit, after all these indictments. After all the shit that came out about the porn star. After all the shit that came out about sexual assault. After everything. They still want this motherfucker right here. That's the people. It's the people. And these primaries this year, they could have voted against Trump. But they want his motherfucking ass. There's something about him that these Americans like. It is. And same thing for Joe Biden. Same thing. In 2020, he could have lost the primary. Another Democrat, I believe another Democrat would have beaten Trump, excuse me. Trump was horrible as a president. I don't give a fuck what folks are talking about. Oh, he gave us a stimmy. If your ass is up here and really just excited about that little bullshit that they threw us, you need to evaluate some shit, reevaluate some shit in your life. Okay? You really do. First of all, it's a Democratic Party that was pushing for that shit, per usual. Because all they doing is stealing from the playbook with Franklin Delano Roosevelt from the New Deal with deficit spending and Keynesian economics. When with the federal government like shit, everybody ain't got it, man. We gonna spend the money because everybody else ain't spending. We gonna spend the money and try to put money directly into the people's pockets. You know what I'm talking about? So they can stimulate the economy. That's all. We've seen president after president after president do that same shit. Hell, Obama did it too with the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, aka the stimulus package. He gave out stimulus checks, and folks weren't losing their mind like this. What the fuck is going on? But people are easily fooled. They're gullible. I used to tell my students, you write that shit on the board. Don't be gullible. Don't be easily fooled. Be wise. There are AI-generated pictures of Donald Trump posted up with black folks. Talking about one guy that might post it up in the hood look like with some black folks. AI-generated. You ain't got to fall for that shit. You ain't got to fall for that bullshit. All these bots and shit that Russia is buying to try to manipulate us and manipulate our minds. You ain't got to fall for this shit. They can try, but you ain't got to fall for it. See, we don't want to look in the mirror as the American people, as the masses, and look and say, what the fuck is wrong with us that allows us to have a political system in which these two parties largely don't be fucking listening to us. Most Democrats want Joe Biden to stop supporting Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel and what the fuck they doing over there in Gaza. But the motherfucker ain't listening to the masses. Most Republicans want common sense gun regulation. Common sense like background checks. Most Republicans. This was a poll that was reported on by mprnews.org. Okay. This is Minnesota Public Radio, excuse me. Okay. Very interesting polling data. Says universal background checks. 95% of Democrats support it, as you would think. 78% of independents and 80% of Republicans. 80% of Republicans support universal background checks. These goddamn politicians ain't listening to that. When it comes to tests, license, and register, 92% of Democrats support it. 67% of independents. 54% of Republicans. Come on, man. Like, what the fuck are we doing? But you know why they won't listen? Because we don't force them to. You know why federal minimum wage doesn't go up? Because we don't force it to go up. We, the people. Us. We put them goddamn politicians there. And we let them stay there despite doing fuck shit. I've seen one in my lifetime try some gangster shit to stay there, and that was Trump. All these other, and he didn't stay. System ain't working. Motherfucker need to go to jail. We gonna see what's gonna transpire. Motherfucker need to go to jail, but we shall see. But all these other motherfuckers, they just up in there, man, because the folks just keep voting their ass back in there, When it comes to the wealth disparity in this country, these folks get out on us because we let them. They can't do no fucking work without the folks from the lower classes. They can't make shit move without the people from the lower classes. Elon Musk can't make them Teslas without the workers. He can't. Bezos can't move all that product without the workers in them fucking warehouses. And they get away with mistreating their workers and underpaying their workers because other poor people sell the fuck out. So it's the lack of solidarity amongst the lower classes that allow these motherfuckers to do what they do to us. You feel me? Like I said in the freestyle that I dropped during the heights of the pandemic, I said, ain't no Illuminati, but I been knew the secret. The wealth that got the power, and the poor let them keep it. The poor let them keep it. See, let's break that shit down. Ain't no Illuminati. Two things I'm saying with that. First of all, I ain't in no Illuminati, okay? Secondly, ain't no motherfucking Illuminati. We talk in the sense that folks be thinking, oh, some secret society, you got to do a blood sacrifice to get in, and you got to pray to the devil. Fuck that. The motherfuckers who run the world are the Musks of the world, the Bezos of the world. That's who, the folks that got the money. And they ain't trying to hide it. You can Google these motherfuckers' net worth. They floss in your face every day. They don't even respect you enough to hide shit. Fuck, we talking about secret society. Okay? So ain't no Illuminati, but I been knew the secret. The wealthy got the power, and the poor let them keep it. We let them keep it. We outnumber them. It's the 1% versus the 99%. It's a 99 versus 1 fight. But that one motherfucker can get a whole bunch of folks out that 99 to sell the fuck out. Is that one person wrong for trying to get them to sell out? Yes. Yes. That person is wrong and selfish, evil quite often. But that person looking out for himself. The bigger question is, why the motherfuckers from the 99 ain't looking out for their best interest? Their best interest, their best move would be make this one motherfucker who absolutely depends on your labor, absolutely depends on your effort, depends on your vote to get the power that they have, to get the wealth that they have. Why don't you, the masses, make them motherfuckers do what you want them to do? You're too fucking gullible. So we gotta blame us. We gotta blame us. So I'm trying my motherfucking best to rectify it. I try my best by reading and watching intelligently done things, documentaries by scholars, but mostly reading. I try to entertain y'all, but don't forget, I keep saying I try to educate y'all and inspire you as well. So that's me doing my part. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? And it ain't gotta be what I'm doing. It can just be as simple as making sure that your motherfucking ass is not one of these sellouts and not one of these gullible people out here. That you're not one of these folks also misleading the people out here. That you're raising your children right and putting them up on game, okay? So they won't be pawns in this chess game that these motherfuckers playing on us. So we gotta stop sitting up here and complaining about simply complaining about what Trump and Biden doing or ain't doing, what Tate Reeves or whoever your governor might be ain't doing or is doing, what this mayor is doing or ain't doing. Call these motherfuckers out. You know what I'm saying? They your elected officials. You know what I'm saying? So they supposed to be accountable to you. So that's part of it. But hey, ultimately, thought it was a democracy. Supposedly, it's been a democracy since the late 60s. Yeah, I thought I was going to say since its founding. Bullshit. Wasn't no full democracy back then. Wasn't no full democracy back then. This bitch only been a democracy almost 60 years. Real democracy ain't 60 years old yet in America. But we got to treat it as such. All these folks then fought, bled, died for this bitch to be a true democracy. Goddamn, we got to make sure that it is one. Quit being pussies about this shit. Be accountable and be the change you want to see. Put it on something.
Please subscribe to my daddy's YouTube channel because the more subscribers he gets, the more attractive he looks to sponsors. The more attractive he looks to sponsors, the more money he can make. And the more money he can make, the more money he can spend on me.